This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes, daily live streaming interactive, featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Good morning and welcome back to Investment Perspectives. I want to take a second to thank you for being here. I am Brad Kimes. You can follow me at Backup Bradley on Twitter and all the things that we're talking about here today. Don't forget, at 10 a.m. this morning, we will be live with Friday, the Week in Review with co-host Cryptopolis. And you better not miss it. It is going to be one heck of a show. So make sure you tune in for that. Okay. Let's get right to this thing. There's a lot to unpack. First of all, big congratulations to everybody who has joined the PayID Coalition for Global Interoperable Payments. This is remarkable that Ripple is behind all of this. You can clearly see it by the article. XRP is a solution to that platform. It is remarkable to know that as well. Okay, in 5 days, I want to run some things by you here. Some things old, some things new, and let's just take a look at what this picture is looking like to me, because I mean it's starting to take shape, and there's a few things that I think are providing clarity if we choose to just stand and look at this thing we've been looking at for a long time from just a slightly different angle. Okay, so the first place I want to start today is this. I would like to start with right here on the profile and just remind everybody very quickly, if I can find this again. Of course, I've just clicked off of it. But let me just scroll down here. I'll certainly find it again. Just so you understand where this conversation's going here, behind the scenes and not covered too widely or too broadly, the U.S. upends global digital tax plans after pulling out of talks with Europe. So if you're not aware, there has been this global initiative and talks on a digital tax plan for the planet. And they're trying to work out the relationship between, you know, whether the transaction's coming from the country A to country B or country B and country A, and who gets what and how it's settled. So to be noted, that is a large global international conversation right there. Okay, now let's start here. In 5 days, the FATF deadline will be here. The FATF is a regulatory body connected to the G20. The president of that council at the time that they wrote those guidelines last year was the United States member country. So they are well aware of what the deadline is from the FATF international guidelines, and the deadline in 5 days, which is KYC AML travel rule compliant. Now, what would the outcome be? We don't know. Courtesy of Mickey B and we'd say Win, PayID is travel rule compliant. Well, isn't that interesting? U.S. Congressman just this past week, Stephen Lynch, is calling for a crypto regulatory sandbox to be headed up by the OCC, the Office of Comptroller of Currency, which is now, by the way, head up by Brian Brooks, formerly of Coinbase, who years ago before that used to work with Steve Mnuchin. Can't make it up. I want to remind everybody that back in 2015, Ripple brought on Michael Barr from the U.S. Treasury Department. Then in 2019, Ripple brought on Susan Friedman from the U.S. Treasury Department. That same year, they brought on Craig Phillips from the U.S. Treasury Department. The first month that they were in business, Remember? Digital asset investor interviewed Greg Kidd. Great interview. The first month that Ripple was in business, Greg Kidd said they had gone to the U.S. Treasury Department to tell them what they had plans of doing. Sometime after, they were fined by FinCEN, a regulatory agency attached to the U.S. Treasury, and given a letter to allow them to continue with the sales of XRP. Now, just a couple days ago, we had Chris Giancarlo, who does work as counsel with Ripple through the law firm that he is with, and is also the head of the Digital Dollar Project for the U.S. dollar, puts out a professional opinion that XRP is not only not a security, but it's a currency. This is the lens and the angle I want you to see this asset with now. Don't see it as a commodity. Look at this as a currency. Look back at Brian Brooks coming from Coinbase over to the Office of Comptroller of Currency, which means you're the head of the national banking system. Look at the hires that Ripple has made from 2015 to 2019 from the U.S. Treasury Department. Not to mention that they now have an office in Washington, D.C. Understanding Christopher Giancarlo's professional opinion here that XRP is a currency. And then right after that, we hear the launch of PayID, a global PayPal system, if you will, that's completely interoperable across all these individual networks for everyone who joins. And it's got travel rule compliance built in. On the heels of the FATF having a deadline in 5 days, now we don't know what the impact will be, but 5 days before the deadline of the international guidelines, first year deadline, PayID is launched and 40 global companies are now on that network, including some exchanges like CoinField, BitTrue. I remember seeing a piece building on the notion that XRP is a currency. I remember seeing a piece, again, by Digital Asset Investor not long ago, and I believe, if my memory serves it correctly, Chris Larson was talking to a gentleman in a video clip, and they were talking about XRP being as liquid as the Swiss franc, I believe it was. It was either him or Miguel Baez, and forgive me if I've got them mixed up, but one of the Ripple executives or employees, however you want to say it, was remarking about the liquidity of XRP is the same liquidity as the Swiss franc. They'd like to see that. Currency. If XRP, which is a bridge token, utility token, were to get a classification, we could see a huge adoption. And the reason I think that would be isn't just because of the classification, but because of what the classification would be. If they classify XRP as a currency, you could see immediate settlement of the FX foreign exchange market, which is the currency market. Now, you want to talk about deep pools of liquidity. Just like that. Here's another notion that I want to run by you. And if XRP is a currency, guess who else can hold it? Banks. All right, guys. That's going to do it for me. This is the stuff that's running through my head with just the last couple days here and the things that we're seeing. This is a pretty remarkable time. I tell you what, I want to give a shout out to Crypto Ice, who made a great video and gave me a huge compliment in there. And I just want to thank him for that and the kind words. And I also want to tell everybody, check out Crypto Ice's YouTube channel. He's doing a great job over there, big in XRP, and he wants to get started. Let's show him some support, help elevate him. Crypto Ice, it's the YouTube channel, and that's his handle. So shout out to Crypto Ice. Wish you all the best on your channel. Anything we could do to help out, no doubt about it. And again, appreciate the kind words. Guys, XRP, a currency. Throw that light on it for a minute and start thinking about the effects all across the industries and how quickly it could get implemented with that kind of understanding, especially knowing that there's been a demand from Stephen Litch from Congress just here in the last week for a regulatory sandbox for cryptocurrencies. This is pretty remarkable where we're headed, guys. I have to say. So, all right, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let's keep this conversation going. Do not forget, 10 a.m. this morning, co-host Cryptopolis Friday Weekend Review is back. Don't miss it. We'll catch you on the next one.